Good afternoon, my friends. This is the Grim Flayer. Hope you're all doing very well today, and I hope you're ready, as you should always be, to jun them out with me on this channel. This is a list brought to us by Noah, tireless tier supporter, and it is a junned modern list. We're gonna have some fun with it. I gotta tell you, though, I'm a little bit annoyed to start things out through no fault of Noah's or anyone else's watching this, but I already tried to do this once. I tried to do this as soon as I got home from work today, which is the first day post-ban, and I was live recording and everything, and I was in the middle of a great league. We were 2-1, and I was winning round 1, game 4. There were some really intense games, lots of decisions involved, and then, boom, we got kicked out. Just got kicked out. 100 play points credited to my account. I guess that was the ban kicking in. I didn't realize that would happen, so that's pretty annoying. But what are you gonna do? Like, this is my only time to do it. I just gotta go straight back into it and try again. Wanted to, of course, give our donor a full league, so that's what's going down. I'm gonna be a little bit tired, because again, I put almost 2 hours of intense gameplay in already, just like 5 minutes ago. Anyway, that is what it is. We're going to come back, and now we have another chance to 5-0, whereas before we were just, 2-1 going into round 4. So, anyway, guys, we are playing a relatively stock junned list, and I mean that in a good way, because Noah, relatively new supporter, didn't waste much time in inquiring about my thoughts on his list, which turned into an inquiry about a donation league, which turned into this. He presented me the first draft, which is relatively different. I gave him my thoughts, and he came back with a couple different iterations, and we settled on this. And to me, this looks really, really good. This is very close to what I would be doing if I had to play Jund in a big event tomorrow. So, Noah is a senior finance major at Texas A&M, and he's actually in the process of getting his Magic Club recognized by the campus. He and some friends are up to this. So if you guys are around the Texas A&M area, they play a lot of Modern, a lot of Pioneer, and a ton of Commander, among other formats. I'm going to leave an email address where you can get at Noah. They've got a Discord for the group. He wanted me to put the word out, so here you go. If you're around Texas A&M, you want to meet up with some fellow Grimflayer viewers, some fellow Magic players, please do check that out. Again, info will be in the description as always. So, Noah's list, let's talk a little bit about it, then let's try for a second time to play a league. A lot of the stuff is pretty stock in terms of like where you would start before deviating from the norm. We've got 4-2 splits on Inquisition versus Thoughtseize, and Lightning Bolt versus Fatal Push. Croxa has cemented his place as a 2-of. We are playing Skoos, which not everybody is, but most people are. It's good against the opposing Titans, for one thing, and also, nothing can really do what Skoos does. Might be the weakest card in the 60, but still does merit a place in most 60s. It's a very disciplined list with like 2 trophy, 2k command, 1 pulse in the flex slots. We are on kind of the 23.5 land build, if you will, with 24 lands nominally, but one of them being Baron Moor, which I always love. And another very disciplined, very streamlined, very clean sideboard with a healthy respect for big mana, with 2 each of Ashiok, Fulminator, and Pillage. More 2-ofs in the form of Nile, Spellbomb, Collective Brutality, Plagueman, and a few 1-ofs rounding it out, Kalitas, Damping Sphere, and Vraska Golgari Queen, so I really love the list. Vraska was kind of a last-minute addition from Noah. I believe this used to be a Huntmaster of the Fells, but he's been liking Vraska a lot lately. He's been shining in his local meta. Also seems pretty well positioned overall, and Noah made a great point that you do get some more incidental value out of cashing things in for your +2, because it all fuels the Croxa, right? So that's another thing I didn't really think of, but definitely comes into play. We are going to jump right into a league. I do want to thank my Patreon supporters. We've got plenty of new ones to thank. You'll love to see that. And we're going to do that right as we find an opponent. But one of the new supporters has a new website I have to show you. So this is tier list here. Brand new supporter James Zawislak. Hope I got your name right, my friend. I know you told me how to pronounce pronounce it. I think it's something like that. In any case, James is a tireless tier supporter who has just launched the darkconfidant.com. Greatness at any cost. We've got articles, philosophy of midrange. We're on the welcome page right now. But if you tab over to articles, he's got some interesting stuff cooking over here. You've got like an article about the Sultai Delirium deck in the Pioneer format, which is great. But even more interesting, at least to me, is articles like this focusing in on specific cards and the play patterns around them, the deck building constraints around them. This is a great project, man. This is some really cool stuff. So James is our, again, new tireless tier supporter. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. And the darkconfidant.com is James's budding new website. Guys, please bookmark that. Please do check it out. Yeah, look at this nonsense. Here's my... Well, it's giving me the 0-1 loss, but showing I lost the game due inaction. I don't know about all that. It just booted me out, right? But, yeah, we won the first 2 rounds. It was a pretty cool budding league. We beat Bant Snow Control, and then we crushed Amulet Titan 2-0, and then we got nut drawn by another Bant deck, and then we were against a third Bant deck in round 4, so, hey, maybe we won't play all Bant in big mana this time out. That'd be pretty sweet, right? In any case, guys, here we go with Noah's list. So thanks again, Noah, for your generous support. And thank you again to James, our newest tireless tier supporter of thedarkconfidant.com. We also have 4 other new patrons to thank, or rather 3 new patrons and 1 upgraded patron. So we've got a trio of brand new Inquisitors, Tom Slipknot, Fan U, and Teddy Randby. Like the 4th Teddy in the Patreon ranks, a blessed name, truly. And we also have a former Inquisitor who is now unearthed, Jacob Bouchard. So, thank you one and all, my friends. I do truly appreciate you. And thanks to all long-standing patrons as well. Unfortunately, we had to mull that 1-lander. This one we can keep. I'm just going to bottom the Skoos because even though it's our only threat... actually, you know what? Maybe we bottom Trophy. We might get punished against big mana, but I think we're going to keep our only threat around. Hope to draw a green land either way, of course. But we will hope that the 3rd land that we draw is a green one, and that in the meantime our Bolt and our Inquisition can take us pretty far. Okay, against a Birds of Paradise deck, I'm definitely bolting. But I'm going to do it off of this Blood Crypt, even though it's less efficient with life, just in case we draw like a tap land next turn, we want to be able to deploy it and still Inquisition. Bird number 2. Alright. 3rd land is coming our way, love to see that. So we'll begin with an Inquisition and hope they can't do too much damage off of this 1 bird. Oh my god, wow. Okay. Yep. So we see 2 lands, 2 Prime Speaker Vannifars. That's super, super bad. So I haven't played against the Prime Speaker deck in quite some time. But I know we definitely got pretty punished for that sequence right there. Not a great deal else we could have done. Certainly the responsible thing is to Inquisition rather than just blindly jamming a Skoos. But this is why when you're in doubt, you bolt the bird over casting discard, because if we had been able to do that, we would have been in much, much better shape. As it is, okay, Liliana, or excuse me, the 3rd land, so we're deciding between Liliana and Kolaghan's Command. So Vannifar has to sacrifice another creature. I don't know the play patterns against this deck, so forgive me if this is a punt, but I'm actually thinking we're supposed to K-command the bird and then discard them out. And try to get Liliana edicting them away next turn. Like, if that is the wrong line, then Liliana Edict, they'd just lose the bird to it anyway, and it probably wouldn't be much better, if any better at all. So, this has got to be the play, but... Okay, we knew about that Misty, so they've got 2 unknowns now, plus a Prime Speaker number 2, and they ripped another Dork, so here comes the chain. I haven't seen this in forever. Corridor Monitor is the find. They'll untap. They'll find Renegade Rallier, getting back the Monitor. So I'm trying to figure out what card to name with Plague Man. So far we're seeing Human can hose the Dork or Bird. Pretty important to hose the Dorks here. Human's good against Renegade Rallier if they're not comboing off. Kiki Jiki. Alright, well, we're getting turn forward here. So they just make infinite corridor monitors. Is that how this works? Okay, you got us. Well, hey, I got my wish. It's not a Bant deck, and it's not a big mana deck, but dropping game 1 sucks. You know they're going to play a pile of Veil of Summers like every deck does now that's green against us. At least I assume so. Restoration Angel was another part of the combo, too. Alright, so this is a pretty fringe archetype at this point. I don't really know what to expect besides what we just saw, but the principle is pretty clear of kill everything that moves, so to that end. Plague Man, Vraska are very good, Kalidas is pretty good. Collective Brutality, I think, is more than anything just a clunky kill spell, but it's probably good enough to play despite that. I don't think I'm going to do much else. I mean, Ashiok shutting off Vannifar is probably pretty good, right? Why don't we try to find a list real quick? Real quick. Prime Speaker Vannifar. So we'll consider all of these cards. I think Vraska and Plague Engineer are the things that we need to fit in no matter what else. There's not even a recent 5-0 with this deck on Goldfish. Wow. Alright. Yeah, I mean, they've got fetches, they've got the search effect with Vannifar, they might play other search effects too. I don't know, I think we should probably play one Ashiok. Big problem is what to cut, because our list is so strong against it. I believe we are going to just trim away at some of the stuff that's a little less immediately impactful. Probably honestly fine cutting away Inquisitions as well. Thoughtseize, of course, is the one we want to leave in. So what do we want? We could also maybe go down, maybe go down one Kroxa. Is the second Kroxa better than the first Scooz? That I'm not sure of. But either way, our 60 is going to be extremely ruthless. Wish I had a little more experience in the matchup, but I'm going to play a hedged game here. We're going to play one Ashiok, make them beat that, in addition to weathering all of our removal. I think Kalidas replacing a Bloodbraid Elf is pretty solid, and then that leaves room for one Brutality. So do we want to play Brutality over, like, a Scooz or a Kroxa? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Yeah, we got a million kill spells. Let's err on the side, slightly on the side of threats on the play. And then we're going to take him to game 3, hopefully. If we do so, that'll be a little bit of a different change in incentives on the draw. Okay, the only bad thing about this hand is the basic swamp, because it cannot cast Ren and 6 on curve. Nevertheless, 'tis a keep. I'm going to run out that fetch land for a variety of reasons, including the fact that we could draw a non-swamp untapped land and still be able to cast Ren next turn. Be pretty cool, right? Be pretty cool. Okay, so there is the Dork. I think we're going to try to draw something. If not, I'm pretty happy just killing it with Brutality, but I think we're going to try to draw something for Ren. Are we supposed to get Stomping Ground here? I think the answer is yes. It's going to get all 3 colors online. We have drawn Goyf. Okay, bye-bye, Birdie. Still really want to draw that 3rd land now more than ever. lets us do so much. Corridor Monitor. You got it. Third land, we don't hit it. Oof. Yep, just sadly locked out with this Wrenn and 6. I guess we take our spot to play Goyf. We gotta start getting a board developed sometime, but if we drop this match, man, especially 2-0, that's just pretty horrendous luck, right? Rhythm of the Wild. Can't be countered, don't care about that. Things get haste. Do maybe care about that. That's obviously good with Prime Speaker. Thankfully, we have drawn the third land. So one option is Liliana Edict. Another option is to fetch, push, get Wrenn online. Getting Wrenn online, I think, is what I like a little bit better. That's also an artifact, so we could K-Command. We could get some K-Command shenanigans going, perhaps in response to things they're doing, but I think we're supposed to play Planeswalkers out right now. Goyf is now gigantic as well. 2 hits and they're gone. That fetch land was a beautiful draw, you must say. Okay, opponent's simply passing, huh? I think we're probably supposed to do the same thing, just tick up Wrenn. Pass holding up K-Command, bluffing all kinds of stuff. I think tapping out's a little loose here. Certainly if we had a 1-mana spell to hold up, we could play the Plague Engineer or the Liliana, and that'd be pretty good. But I think right now we're supposed to kind of lean on this K-Command. Restoration Angel. Yeah, that's something our K-Command cannot deal with, sadly. But we might be able to cheese them out if they crack another fetch land on their turn. They're attacking Wrenn. Whoa. Things I did not expect to happen. Eternal Witness, yeah. Adding a counter, buying back a Windswept Heath. Sure. Think we let all this happen and then take action on their end step. Okay, a bird, yep. Giving it haste. potentially deciding whether to fetch. It's pretty intense stuff, guys. Pretty intense stuff. They're kind of representing Veil of Summer, sadly, but we're certainly not going to time walk ourselves, so let's have them discard and, I guess, kill the Witness. If we can. Veil of Summer. Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. But hey, we got it out kind of on our own terms, but not really. You know how it goes. Bloodbraid Elf. Gotta go for the Bloodbraid Elf, right? That was a pretty good draw. It's just lethal, unless they have a Path to Exile or something. Plague Engineer, pretty good. Just gonna name Bird. Get a guaranteed kill. Okay. That one was sketchier than I think it had any right to be, but we did get there, and we did have some clunk along the way. We didn't really see anything entirely unexpected. Veil of Summer, I did expect. Restoration Angel, Eternal Witness seem like stock cards. And Rhythm of the Wild is maybe the biggest spice they showed us. Yeah, I mean, that makes me want to lean a little bit less on sorcery speed stuff. So Brutality maybe gets a little bit worse. Maybe we bring back one Inquisition at the expense of a Brutality. I could see that. Ashiok is worse on the draw. It's probably a better card to cut than Brutality. Thinking like maybe a Kroxa here. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut a Kroxa. We need our Disruption to be more targeted on the draw instead of just like generically decent, I think. You could go a number of different ways here, but I kind of like where we were. I don't like cutting the Scoozes entirely in the face of that Ewit. So I think this is pretty good. But dropping that game one is what hurts. So gotta do it again here on the draw. See if we can get there. Opponents had some pretty solid curve outs both times. They can always stumble too. And like no matter how you slice the marginal decisions here, R60 is really savage. They mulligan, but we cannot capitalize. We got a mulligan, a no-lander as well. We get a functional-ish hand. It's got 2 of our 3 ETB tap lands. We're definitely keeping. Definitely keeping. I think we have to keep all 3 of these lands, so I'm deciding whether to bottom Goyf or Vraska. Think I might bottom Tarmogoyf. Vraska seems really, really good here if we're already interacting a good amount, which we are. We have 2 pieces of 1 mana interaction and they mulliganed. And we're on the draw, so we kind of have that card advantage in a way. So I'm going to bottom Goyf. It's not something I relish, but it is something I have done. Alright, opponent representing Veil o' Summer pretty hard. So having drawn another land, we kind of have the luxury of playing Catacombs and saying go. Maybe having time walked them. If they don't do anything, we can cycle more pretty safely. We want an overgrown tomb off of this Catacombs. Devoted Druid. Okay. Do we still want to cycle more? I think the answer is yes. All right, Thoughtseize and Inquisition. Lead on the Inquisition here, because we can Thoughtseize next turn and still hit a 4-drop without them casting it, because we're going to kill the dork. This turn, almost certainly. They've got a whole lot of stuff in hand. They got Court of Calling, which is pretty dead for now, Vizier, which is the infinite combo, and Renegade Rallier, which is also kind of dead for now. But I still think we're supposed to take the Rallier in case they, like, if they draw land, Rallier is kind of their best play. Yep. All right. Opponent drew a land for turn, so we know exactly what they're up to. Get to Thoughtseize away the Prime Speaker this turn, I guess. And we've drawn our 4th land. Our life total's pretty low, isn't it? I'm taking these heavy 2-1 beats right now. Okay, opponent with a land. So Chord for 1 is live, which makes Vraska ticking down kind of bad. Like, they just have a 1-drop dork to go get, and then they get to kill Vraska. But then again, like, just trophying is pretty bad too, isn't it? And doing nothing is pretty bad too. Do we dare to play Vraska and start ticking her up? I kind of doubt it. Like, if they have to spend their Court of Calling on a Mana Dork right now, I think that's good enough for me. We have a million great top decks. Certainly going to out-top deck them on average, so let's just use this as a relatively clunky way to keep their board clear. I've certainly seen better use cases of Vraska, but I think this is okay. And maybe they just don't go get a dork, but they do. Yep. As predicted. Makes total sense. And now it's kind of a top deck war where we are favored. And we do have trophy to answer anything that's a big problem they find. And we can always just draw Bloodbraid Elves off the top. I'll take it. I'll take it. Renin 6. I'll take it. I'll take it. Seems really, really good. We're going to ping here. What if they have a Restoration Angel? That's a disaster if we attack and they get to flash in and block it. I think with a trophy in hand, we should wait 1 turn. We're definitely playing scared, though. Like, there's no doubt about it that there's a lot of merit to just making them have it. And they seemingly don't have it, because I think they would have used it that turn had they had it. But anyway, We'll leave this uncracked for the moment for Fatal Push purposes. We have drawn a Goyf. Let's start looping our Barrenmoor. We have drawn a Swamp. Now it's time to attack, play the Goyf, hold up trophy. Tap our lands correctly if we can manage that. So we are representing lethal despite taking a turn off of attacks if they have absolutely nothing. Again, you have to say that, you know, tapping the Ravine could possibly be loose, but alright, so do we want to go for a trophy that could turn on Veil of Summer? I think we're going to just be more patient than that. The big problem is, like, this thing blocks Bloodbraid Elf, but then we can ping with Wrenn and 6. I'm going to untap. I'm not going to, like, risk throwing the game away when we're in a really good spot. Okay, Kalitas. Kalitas is pretty sweet. So opponents should be losing this Corridor Monitor either way. They're going to block like so to force us to use the Wrenn ping, which I'm pretty happy to do. That's it. All right, so opponent seems to have flooded there at the end. I think we could have kept up with most of their draws anyway. Obviously, Veil of Summer is always a scary proposition, but failing that, again, this matchup's pretty good, which is why I was a little bit miffed to get dumpstered so hard round one. Again, I don't even know the ins and outs of their deck. It's just something that really struggles in the face of all of our combinations of removal and disruption and fast clock and value. So there you go. Nice start to our league, guys. And we're immediately into round 2. Oh, but I made the mistake of, like, clicking my client, and then it went berserk. 4 lands to discard a Liliana. I wish we were on the play, but I will keep. I accept. Okay, it's another Heath deck and another Monodork deck, it looks like. Yeah, another Birds deck. Okay. I'm going to shock in here in case we draw Wrenn and 6 next turn. What kind of bird deck are you? Ponza. Blood Moon Arbor Elf. Well, this is very annoying. You know, we're not that soft to Blood Moon, but the only problem is we've got a Liliana in hand. Guess we still got to take the Blood Moon. But, you know, we do have enough natural resilience where if we had a different mix of spells in our hand, I would be interested in, like, maybe taking the Dork with that Inquisition. Uh-oh, what did the opponent find? A Pillage? Gross. Completely grotesque in every way, shape, and form. Oh, this is a miserable deck. That's a miserable deck, and it's a miserable draw. Yeah, we got a Thoughtseize. I guess we're going to get our other basic Swamp here. And we kind of have to Thoughtseize Chandra and hope they break off of the Bloodbraid Cascade. They've just top deck Klothys. Alright, well, this is pretty unwinnable right now, I think. Lightning Bolt was actually a pretty good draw, but Klothys is just so good against us on curve. Especially when they just find it immediately after 2 kill spells. Like, you hate to see that. Again, Lightning Bolt there was fair enough, reasonable enough. But we've got to put together some real good top decks to win through this Klothys. Make no mistake. But if we kind of need opponent to brick on lands, I guess, is the main thing. And we need to find a clock that can outrace Klothys. Okay, so far they've bricked on lands. And hey, there's our Tarmogoyf. So, yep, it's just gotta be Lily Edict you. Slam the good old Goyf next turn, and Klothys is very good against Goyf in a few different ways, but if our deck continues to comply, it could be enough. There's a Blood Moon. Alright. Don't care all that much. Okay, they pick Chandra. Here's our Goyf. And let's hope they whiff on a land for this Bloodbraid, or if they do hit the land, then hope they whiff on the Cascade, right? I don't like playing against this deck because it feels like it's just so completely out of your hands, like they're so high variance with their draws. Alright, looks like they didn't hit the land. Inquisition. Sure. Double Bloodbraid Elf. Yikes. Back down to single Bloodbraid Elf. Man, without this Klothys, we'd be going to town right now, but Klothys can get them out of the Mana Screw. It's erasing us really well. And the Goyf was an amazing draw, but beyond that, our draws have actually been pretty bad. Okay, opponent tanking here. That probably isn't a good sign. Maybe it means they have something good to do no matter how they use Klothys. Or maybe they're just like doing the math on how best to shrink Goyf and what the clock is looking like. They're going to start shrinking the Goyf. They're going to start taking away Planeswalkers. Okay. Another land locked out by Blood Moon. Well, again, I say things are pretty much out of our hands. Hey, they picked an enchantment. Goyf is back to a 5/6 for a minute. Okay, there goes a land. That means they found another land. That means it's Bloodbraid Elf time. Yep. Whiff, whiff, whiff. Bone Crusher Giant. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. I mean, we have good draws too. We just gotta find them. Opponent deciding which mode to use. So this is basically classic Ponza. Looks like actually kind of a meeting point between like the newer Gruul mid-range decks that were popping up with Once Upon a Time, which is no longer with us, and the classic Ponza. Like, cards like Clothis and Bone Crusher Giant are more emblematic of the mid-range deck, but this is clearly classic Ponza to some degree because it's playing Pillage and Blood Moon rather than Magus of the Moon and other value permanents in place of the land destruction. They just cast Bone Crusher, and then they attack Lily. Alright. Can we get a heater? Oh my god, come on! Come on, this is just... It's just no fun. Right? It's just no fun when this goes down. So, are we supposed to stay back? Yeah, we are, because, like, we're just dead if we attack, so let's stay back. We'd be dead to the Clothis drain plus attacking for 7. So, opponent declined to take the 2-for-1. They could have stomped Lily and killed her, and then had the Bone Crusher waiting in the wings in case they brick. But I think they just know they're never going to brick. Yeah, okay, Stone Rain. Not the scariest, but it does cut us off a color. Now a Bloodbraid Elf off the top is uncastable, so that's actually pretty bad. Bloodbraid Elf being one of our very best. Opponent, you gotta give the opponent credit, because they're clearly, like, running the math every time it's their turn. And they're going all in on this Liliana. I think that could work to our advantage, especially if we draw another Lily off the top. Honestly, I think if they just, like, sit back, they can't lose. But maybe that's wrong. Whatever the case, I will trade off, or excuse me, block the big guy. Kolaghan's Command. Pretty good. So, draw step. Discard them, shock the Bloodbraid has got to be our line. Like, we cannot afford to shock them. I mean, we have to kill the Bloodbraid Elf because it's going to win the race with the help of Clothis. All right. So, very few cards in their deck can be cast here at instant speed. Bloodbraid Elf, we got out of the hand. Nice. So, that was huge. That was huge. They're shrinking the Goyf. Or trying to. Yeah. I don't know what our best draw. Another K-Command's a pretty great draw. I still don't think we can probably win, but... yeah, not with a draw like that. Man, I cannot overstate just how insane that top-decked Clothis was for them. Okay, Goyf has now been reduced to 4/5. What did they draw? A land. Alright. I guess technically, if we draw a Lightning Bolt, do we still have them? Nah, not even. Whatever, we'll play it out. Not even. I think I mentioned in one of my recent leagues that my 3 most disliked archetypes in Modern are the Titan Field decks, not to be confused with Amulet Titan. I think Amulet Titan is more interesting and less deterministic and takes more skill and all of that. So it would be Titan Field, Eldrazi-tron, and this in no particular order. Insult to injury, we draw Thoughtseize, which is uncastable, so we bricked out like crazy. We had 1 or 2 good draws, like a Goyf was good, Kolaghan's Command was pretty good, but just like 10 bricks around them, what are you going to do? Yeah, I would really love to beat this deck. I hate dropping games to Ponza because I hate the playstyle, and That said, it is easier said than done. Vraska is reasonable. Pillage is reasonable because it can kill a basic land that they're stacking Utopia Sprawls on. Plague Engineer is decent on the play. Like, Collective Brutality is reasonable. There's a lot of stuff that's just kind of okay. Generally, we want to sideboard pretty conservatively. I'm going to cut 1 Scooz, possibly 2. Admittedly, it is good against Klothys, but in general, when they're destroying your lands and when they're blood mooning you and when they've got lightning bolts, like, Scavenging Ooze is just not a very good card. I think we need to just try to answer Klothys with this card and otherwise hope they don't have her. Yeah, I'm going to cut both Scoozes, even though you can leave in one and it's not the worst. And, like, the rest of our deck's pretty good, to be honest. So what are our highest value cards out of the side here on the play? I guess we probably just shouldn't go with Pillage if we're this hard up for slots. Plague Engineer tagging Elf is decent. And, like, 1 Brutality is okay, but I think I'm going to just go for the Vraska on the play, try to kind of... you know what? Vraska's super high variance, right? I'm going to play her on the play. We'll go for a slightly higher variance bomb. I think Brutality might be a little bit more impactful on the draw anyway when you need to take a Pillage or a Stone Rain out of their hand. Like, you can kill their turn 1 Dork and then turn 2 Brutality away their land destruction and take it from there. Whereas on the play, we just hope to kind of still disrupt, but also go over the top of them more naturally. Can't keep a 1-lander against the Ponza deck. Send it back. Okay, this one's more reasonable. We're gonna bottom Vraska, I guess. And we definitely have to Inquisition turn 1. I think the play is going to be get Blood Crypt off Inquisition and then basic Forest off the other Verdant Catacombs. Unless we draw other lands, then maybe we have the luxury of doing other things. Opponent is mulling as well, but only in solidarity with us down to 6. Yeah, it feels bad to get a non-basic with this, but we got to get our colors online. Okay, they have 2 bolts, which we don't care about, and a Birds of Paradise, which we don't really care about. So kind of an annoyingly Inquisition-proof hand. I guess we're taking the birds anyway. Yeah, they could draw more dorks, and we'll be glad we kept our bolt in reserve, I guess. Just kind of want to see lands here. Just draw another lightning bolt. Pretty punished. Pretty punished. There's still plenty of time, though. Ren and 6 obviously would have been amazing there, too. It'll still be amazing next turn. Not cracking this. Want to have a higher chance to hit a land. Hey, there we go. Cool. Asking you shall receive. Not missing a land drop. Never didn't have it. Okay, opponent fetching Shocking in response to Lightning Bolt the Ren. Clearly going to double bolt it out of the game. That's a nice 3-for-1 in our favor, so we'll take it. But again, something that punishes us for taking birds instead of a bolt, because we've drawn our bolts to answer more birds, but now they can 3-for-1 themselves to kill our Ren, so whatever. These things do happen. Once again, we'll leave this uncracked. Okay, we like the Goyf. I think we like the Goyf well enough to just go get a basic swamp now. Okay, opponent with a Bloodbraid Elf and 2 unknowns in their hand. Concession? Okay, guess they had a pile of uncastables. Seems like a good way to catch up if they do hit the 4th land, like next turn, for example, but I'm not going to complain. Alright, well, we did it. On the draw, well, we see Lightning Bolts, so that's more confirmation for our sideboarding plan of, like, moving away from Skoos. That's also confirmation I don't think I want this Plague Engineer on the draw. It's certainly a lot worse at its job on the draw anyway. So let's bring back that Brutality we mentioned. I think that's better than playing Pillages, on average. And is there anything else in the other 59? Vraska definitely looser on the draw. Let's just play 2 Brutalities, I guess. It just feels so bad against their things that it doesn't kill. But I think I like them better than Vraska and Plague Man on the draw, so we'll do it. We do have enough value to outvalue them a good amount of the time. We just need to not get curved out on and crushed and locked out of the game in all of the usual Ponza ways, right? OP keep 7. Yikes. Yikes! We got a good one, though. We'll keep it. Gotta fade them having a Utopia Sprawl, which they're on Birds and Arbor Elf, so they're likelier to have a turn 1 Dork, and they do. Nice. Nice, we get to kill it. See you later, and we drew another Tarmogoyf. That's a hot one. That's a hot draw. Okay, Utopia Sprawl for red. Into another bird. Okay, this will be a very interesting spot. Inquisition of Kozilek. This just got even more interesting. I think we're probably supposed to go get basic Swamp, and then Inquisition, then Lightning Bolt, but Inquisition could whiff. Even if it doesn't whiff, they can cast a 4-drop next turn, and we're risking not resolving a Goyf under a Blood Moon, but that would basically only be if they top deck a Blood Moon, because if they only have 1 in hand now, we of course take it, and if they play Magus of the Moon, we can Brutality him off our basic Swamp. So I like our line here. I think we're going to go for that. But as always on the draw, it's a little bit sketchy. I really wish this was just a Thoughtseize. Okay, they do indeed have a moon, and we are priced into taking it, which really sucks against that Spyro, but we just simply can't have our Goyfs locked out. So, yeah, oh boy. What a tilt. Yeah, anyway, that's the move. Bye-bye Blood Moon. Bye-bye Bird. Client going super slow here. Let's hope that catches back up. Imagine if we'd had a natural forest in hand, that would have been just easy take a Spyro there, leave them with a relatively low impact Blood Moon. Okay, they ditch a Baloth, which was their draw for turn, but they see 2 fresh ones. Wooded Foothills, a fine draw. I guess we'll go get our basic forest now. You could kind of see actually like playing around a pillage with it or something, but whatever. It's not like they can pillage and moon us this turn, so... There's a moon. Again, yeah, like we said before, relatively low impact one. Alright, so I think we're supposed to dump out the entire hand here. We'll escalate a brutality. I guess check the hand, although I don't know if I read them for anything that we can take. It might just whiff. But I think it's fine. They could be sitting on a Veil of Summer too. That's always a possibility, like everywhere you go in Modern these days. But our brutality isn't getting any better against it. So I think the upsides are sufficient. Wow. No Veil, and we get a Pillage. And their only other card in hand is uncastable for the moment. And we get our other Goyf down. Lovely. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Glorybringer is a little bit embarrassing in the face of these Goyfs anyway. That won't always be the case. Like, they could find Grave Hate and then Glorybringer wrecks us, but that's asking a lot. Okay, they found a Utopia Sprawl, so Bringer will be live next turn, but they're going to get hit for 10 this turn. So, most of the draws in our deck are live as well. Only Liliana and lands are bad. Lightning Bolt, sure. Not great, but not bad either. We already have some instants in the yard, so no need to fire it off prematurely here. Okay, OP found a land again. They're just not casting their blocker, so they're just dead. Right? Am I missing something? I don't think so. Oh, yes I am. Elemental tokens, sure. Okay, so before blocks we'll bolt one. They'll chump the other, then we Croxa the Glorybringer out of their hand. Concession. We did it, guys. We beat down Ponza. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff. I'm going to let our client try to catch up. I'm just going to run upstairs for one moment here. Hope the lag stops. Okay. Tarmogoyf showing Ponza the business. Client doesn't feel laggy anymore, so I'm not going to restart. We're just going to jump back in and immediately find a pairing. Well, they're not making it easy on us, guys, but we are doing well in the league. We're getting through, I don't know how tough Ponza is overall. It's hard to rate. But we got through Ponza, having lost game one, so that's cool. Seems like a perfectly acceptable keep to me. On the play. Especially if Fatal Push has text, right? Okay, both players keeping 7. And we are against a absolute grotesque deck. It's the Electodominance deck. Hate to see it. So, I guess Ancestral Vision is harder to beat than Crashing Footfalls since we have at least one Fatal Push. And, like, them just suspending these things is totally reasonable. They can suspend both on turn 1. Yep. Okay, yeah, kind of gotta take the Vision, I guess. This is another deck I don't particularly love facing. Just a lot of what goes on is kind of out of your hands, because the big payoff, Crashing Footfalls and Ancestral Vision off of As Foretold or Electodominance are all well and good, but the big payoff is Restore Balance, so you kind of have to commit to the board. If they just luck into a Restore Balance, or they set up a Restore Balance for that matter, then you just get, like, totally decimated in every way, discarding cards, sacking lands, losing all your creatures. It's just a super feel-bad moment. They put 1 to the top. Alright, Trophy. Not my favorite draw, but it can answer that As Foretold. They'll get at least some value out of it, though, first. So, because they went Serum Visions, they probably are just going to, keep doing other things and wait for this As Foretold to come down before they do this Crashing Footfalls. Which means that drawing discard this upcoming turn would be real nice for us. They go bottom, and they haven't cracked their fetch. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Our draws could really be better. Our draws could really, truly be much, much better. We need a creature. For pressure, discard would be awesome. Liliana would be awesome. Kroxa would be pretty good. So they shuffle their bad cards back into the deck. That's something. Okay, there's the As Foretold. There's the Footfalls. Yes. Oh, no. Okay. I was supposed... No, I wasn't. They can only do this once each turn. Right. At first I was like, we'll go to the end step, and then I was like, no, if they drew another one, I just punted. But I didn't. We're good. It's all good. It's all good. Nobody panic. So, let's go get Fatal Push. I guess the first thing we'll do is push a token. And the second thing we will do is Trophy the As Foretold. You might think they already got their value out of it, why not just Trophy the Rhino? Well, that's because we can beat a Rhino with a million different ways, but if we Trophy the As Foretold, now they have to top deck 2 combo pieces. They might already have one of them in hand for all we know, but they need to do a lot more work to get the Restore Balance when condition resolved, right? Just deciding what land to get. I guess Basic Forest here is fine and dandy, but it is Bloodbraid Elf time. Okay, and now we get to Trophy the Rhino. Again, I've seen better plays, but they're going to Spell Pierce us. Wow. Sure. So our first trophy turned on the thing that stopped our second trophy. That's just like a trophy issue. It just happens. It really sucks when it does. You can't help comparing it to other better alternatives in that spot, but We all know why we play Trophy, right? We can still easily win this race. We've got... Okay, Kolaghan's command seems fine. I was going to say we've got Raging Ravine to attack too, but now that we've drawn that, I think we are supposed to simply be K-commanding them. I'll attack first. Maybe they have removal. I'd kind of doubt it. So do we want to play around another Spell Pierce by shocking in? I think we do. And I think in the upkeep... Let's see what they do. I'm sure they're just fetching to get a shock, yeah. I guess we're going to try to double burn this Rhino. Kind of amusing, but we'll lead on K-Command to at least hopefully make sure we get a card out of the hand, if nothing else. Force of Negation. Yep. All right. Hard cast. Opponent making all their land drops. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing for them. Dreadhorde Arcanist. What? Since when? Since when? All right. Well, we've got two incentives here. We can untap to play around another Spell Pierce, or we can just bolt it now. If we just bolt it now, that means we can attack with a Ravine next turn. We're going to go to 8. Let's assume they have a brick in hand. We go to 8. We crack back. We've got a 2-turn clock if we bolt now. I think we've got to bolt now to win the race. So let's just take this hit. You know, assuming both players don't really draw anything else. All right. Going for it. Okay, looks like they have a brick. We have a Kolaghan's command. Okay. I kind of still think we're supposed to race at this point. Really do. If only K-Command could kill a Rhino token. Rhino token OP. Opponent's swinging back. They are just dead on board. So I don't know what this means. Okay, Lightning Bolt. It now seems pretty loose to just tap out. But if they have permission, they can counter one of our burn spells and win. Might actually be better to sit back. What do we think about just sitting back? I have no idea what to do here, guys. You could see sequencing a few different ways. This is tough. I've never seen Dreadhorde Arcanist, so I don't really know what else to expect. I don't know if they play, like, Cryptic Command. It seems really unlikely, but they surely play some kind of lower curve red and blue interaction. I think they're least likely to have a kill spell for Raging Ravine. I think they're more likely to have permission than something that can kill Ravine, but they can certainly have something that kills Bloodbraid Elf easily enough. But let's assume they can kill Bloodbraid Elf, so we lose if we attack. If they have something that kills Bloodbraid Elf and we don't attack, what are we doing? Trying to trade with Rhino? That seems bad against a combo deck. So I'm just going to attack and make them have something, but... Oh boy, this is so interesting. What if the opponent's just bluffing this entire time? I certainly hope they are. Yeah, I think we should make them have, like, a kill spell here. I think that's more sound than making them have permission. Or just sitting back and, like, doing nothing. Because, again, they're a combo deck, like, yes, we can win the value game on the field. Okay, they have a bounce spell. Okay, we just lose to the Rhino token. Pretty obnoxious, but they're also, yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess we kind of lose to that card either way, that Brazen Borrower. We'll see what else they show us here. They have no reason to do anything but attack. Okay. Well, good game. Not the way I planned on losing against this deck, but they got us. Again, like I said, they're not making it easy on us this league, guys. Yeah, so it's not like they had removal or permission. They kind of had both. Like, with the bounce effect and the body, I think they can beat pretty much any sequence that we have. So that was just a really good final card for them to have. One of two final cards, I guess, more accurately. In any case, let's play our brutalities. I don't really know what else to play here. Plague Engineer is good against Brazen Borrower. Kind of. But I don't know if we want to go down that route. I could see playing Vraska on the play. Can chew through their combo piece of As Foretold and some of the value they generate and just be a reasonable play. In her own right. Bolts seem pretty weak here, but is anything weaker? I think, like, I could trim one Bolt, one Ren in 6, just go, like, maximum attrition mode. I kind of want to keep our pushes in to kill the Rhino tokens. Like, if we had a push, we would have easily won that game. Well, maybe not with Brazen Borrower, whatever else they could find. But it would have been nice to have a push over a Bolt. We gotta make one more cut. I'll just play with only 2 Bolt, seems fine. Well, I think we've lost every game 1 so far, and we've won every match so far, so hey, no reason we can't do it 3rd time in a row, right? Okay. Another deck I'm relatively unfamiliar with, and another one where we just clearly have to mulligan. We're taking an unconscionable number of mulligans this league. This one is a reasonable-ish keep. But it still needs to just draw runner lands, basically. Or, I mean, I guess 2 lands in the first 3 draw steps. At least 1 in the first 2 draw steps. How about that? Hey, opponent mulling as well. Down to 5 even. Nice. I accept. I don't mind if you do. Ether Gust, Brazen Borrower, Lightning Bolt. Okay, just gonna take the 2-for-1. Don't care about Bolt at all, and Gust is only red or green spell. So, in theory, we draw the 3rd land, we hit Lily, and we start doing our thing. It's a pretty good 5 for the opponent, though, like in a vacuum. Our hand just can line up well against it if we draw the right stuff. Yeah, we've drawn a Tarmogoyf, that's okay. It's weak to Ether Gust, but it's kind of weak to Petty Theft as well, so I still think even if we knew we were going to draw a Goyf, that take is still good. But it's not the land we wanted to see. We gotta hit our Lily ASAP. Land? Land, we did it. All right. I like attacking with the Goyf before we show them what we're going to be getting up to. Okay. Interesting call here as to what to do. If we top it, then we play Lily, pitch the Bloodbraid Elf. We can just dump out our whole hand next turn, so I guess that's pretty good, and we'll have a Tarmogoyf left over. So yeah, we'll top. Down goes Island and back to the OP. Don't know why they would keep a fetch land over an island. Just seems like one unnecessary point of damage, but admittedly something that probably doesn't matter in the least. Okay, let's replay that Goyf they know about. And we'll just bolt upstairs. You know, if they can petty theft if they drew another one in response to our Lily +1. But, like, even if we held priority, they can do that pretty well. They'll bounce whatever they choose, basically. I think we should just make them have it rather than throw away our Lightning Bolt to no good cause. Okay, they found As Foretold, they found Crashing Footfalls, yikes. So they were hanging on like Grim Death to a combo piece. You hate to see it. But we found another Tarmogoyf, which is pretty good. Pretty great, actually. We get to Edict. We get to attack over the Rhino. We also get to protect our Lily. Obviously, now that they have As Foretold, they can top deck a bunch of really scary things, but seems like in the face of their mulligan and our disruption, they were kind of lucky to have this in the first place. Ooh, they rip Lightning Bolt. Lily goes down. Interesting. Okay, we rip Bloodbraid, which is uncastable. But the good news is we got him just about dead. They have exactly one draw step to find something meaningful. They found the concede game button. I like that very, very much. Admittedly, kind of a free win there. Just, I wouldn't even call it a free win, actually. Like, we did have to make the right decisions, I think, and we also did have to have some pretty decent stuff to keep up with a pretty strong 5 that culminated in an As Foretold into the Rhinos, and had room to top deck more I win buttons if we hadn't closed out so quickly and disrupted so well. So I'll take it. I like our sideboarding. Is there anything in the main deck I don't like as much on the draw? I mean, we could cut another Renin 6 and play another Lightning Bolt. I don't know what's better. Vraska's kind of weak on the draw. Nevertheless, I think this might actually be what I submit again, just because really our Lightning Bolts shouldn't be the make or break, and we are still playing 2. I think it's fine. I like kind of having 2 of this, 2 of that post side against this deck. 2 Bolt, 2 Ren, 2 Brutality. Like, these are cards you definitely don't want to see multiples of, but one could be pretty good in the right spot. Help us curve out, be efficient early on, and still have a really healthy top end in the deck, of course. Alright, OP keeping 7. What do we think about R7? All it does is Thoughtseize them, and then guarantee or curve out with Renin 6, but it's a freaking 5-lander. I just don't really think we're supposed to mulligan a Thoughtseize hand, so I am going to keep it. However, we need help. Every time we keep a high land hand, we immediately hit another unnecessary land off the top. It seems. Is this a Spell Pierce? Yeah, that sucks. That's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. Fiery Islet. Interesting, I didn't know this deck would play that card. Once again, making the land drop of something like that before the Serum, I don't quite know about, but... Jeez Louise, can we get a little bit of love? Can we get a non-land card off the top after this potentially loose land-heavy keep? Okay, do you have another Spell Pierce? Jeez, man. Spell Snare. Wow. Okay, you know what? I don't feel bad about my keep because they're on the play with Spell Pierce into Spell Snare. So, like, mulling to sixes, most sixes is just almost worse against this stuff, you know what I mean? Alright, well, we're just going to try to jam Vraska now that we've drawn her. It's kind of one of the worst pieces of valid action to find, but because it definitely incentivizes us not to crack Peatland. But I guess, like, the opponent could just be... They could be a little flooded. They could have kept on the back of those reactive cards and... You know, maybe just have to keep, like, trying to cast spells, trying to fade their combo. Brutality. I don't care about Vraska enough that I'm going to take the turn half off to check the hand with Brutality. I think I'm just going to play her and hope she resolves, and if not, well, I hope we'll keep drawing gas and we can lead on Brutality next turn. Like, again, Vraska's good, but right now she's not actually accomplishing much. So, I think this is totally reasonable. This might be a hard cast Force of Negation. Yep. Yeah, I don't regret it. You know, we're still trading off, and we are still, you know, hoping to draw gas, and we can set up for a double spell turn this turn if we draw most things that are spells. Barrenmoor, not a spell, but it lets us see another card. Hesitation on the draw step. They could be on Vendilion Click. Let's cycle the Moor. Inquisition, I mean, we gotta cast this stuff, but we've got no beef following it up. Opponent is still on 3 lands, so we know they have a ton of gas in hand, and they just let this resolve. Brazen Borrower, Dreadhorde Arcanist, double bolts. Once again, we're going to take the 2-for-1. Maybe they'll have to run out that Arcanist, and we definitely now want to save the Brutality for exactly that. I mean, it's just kind of casting Serum Visions a bunch of times, but we still cannot allow it. Still can't allow it. Alright. We've got all the value lands to buy back with Ren if we find our second one. Just literally land. Bruh moment. And we cannot even fire up Ravine because it'll just die to lightning bolts. Well, we've got a million great draws in the deck. We have flooded already to a completely ridiculous degree, but the opponent is kind of stuck doing nothing. And all we are drawing is more lands. Where's Bloodbraid? Wow, opponent just saying go. Just saying go. Alright, we draw Skoos. There's only one creature in the bin, so Skoos is kind of bad. But still seems worth playing out. And we're still bluffing plenty with 2 other mana open after this. Okay, they just Spell Snare the Skoos. That's completely fine with me. That's way better than them protecting the Dreadhorde Arcanist with that card. But I understand why they would, you know? All right, we cannot keep flooding. We just have to start hitting high value plays off the top. Not a high value play off the top. All right, we have 1, 2, 3. We have another tomb to fetch. So we're going to go do that with that fetch land. The theme of the league is they're not making it easy on us. I mean, we're just, in a way, lucky the opponent hasn't comboed yet, though, right? It's like a pretty weak value game that they're playing, though. Like, and I'm not disrespecting the opponent's build or anything. It's probably the correct thing to be pivoting toward, and probably the correct things to be including in a deck like this overall. But just like with an even, like, okay Jund progression, on average, we are burying this type of stuff, right? Just like blowing through it with Bloodbraids and Croxas and Lilianas and all of our other 2-for-1s. Okay, I mean, I'll lead on Inquisition. It's not a bad time to have drawn it. They're going to force exiling Spell Pierce, so we know about most of the hand. So one interesting line here is to Maelstrom Pulse the Arcanist. They will then Ether Gust, and we can bottom the Pulse, and then we can still Brutality, and we can even escalate to get a Bolt out of their hand to start trying to attack eventually with our Raging Ravines. The problem with that is then we no longer have Pulse to like kill As Foretold if they find one, but I think we've got to give them credit for what they have going on now, and we've got to give ourselves credit for being able to top deck out of it. So let's or we can just Brutality. But if they have a different form of permission, then losing the Brutality sucks. Yeah, I'm going to trade the Pulse for the Ether Gust. I think that's fine. Aha, they don't go for it. Okay. Well, then I'm just going to say go. Now we can use Brutality to clear the way for some nice gas if we find it. They rip As Foretold the turn after? Really? Are you kidding? And they have a Suspend card in hand? Real rough stuff, guys. But hey, we rip Bloodbraid Elf, so it's not all bad. Come on, Bloodbraid. Do the business for us. Bloodbraid into Croxa. Yeah. Yes. Yes, please, and thank you. Croxa OP. Down goes a bolt. Back comes the Croxa. Red, black, black, red. Let's leave Barrenmoor in there for a land. I'm not going to think too hard about what I'm leaving in, to be honest. Because it probably doesn't matter. So do they keep the Ether Gust around, or do they pitch it and use Bolt to kill Bloodbraid? Or to try to trade with Croxa? Yeah, they pitch it. Okay. Ether Gust is still in hand. They might be trying to just erase us. Bloodbraid into Croxa gave us a real lifeline. I think we have to top Croxa. It's very realistic to buy it back. I'm just going to chump now while I can, so I don't, die next turn to them having another Ether Gust. And being able to answer Kroxa, too. Okay, they just had a land. Sure. Is there any reason, should we just be going all in with this brutality right now? I kind of think we should. Nah, I mean, the drain is not that big a deal. Let's just hold our information. It's kind of a tough call here. All right, if anyone can bail us out of this mess, it would be Kroxa. Does putting them to 8 change the math? Let's think about that. So attacking with Kroxa puts them down to 5, which does not leave them dead to a Raging Ravine hit. But it does leave them dead if they fetch to a Raging Ravine hit. I think I'm going to hold it, though. I think bluffing is valuable here. And it's also unclear, whether we'll need that forest for mana next turn to, activate Ravine and do whatever else we find, or whether we will want to pitch it to brutality. This is all corner case stuff. Much hinges on this opponent top deck right here, right now. Opponent will pass. We've drawn Fatal Push. It's a pretty nice one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 to activate Ravine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 to activate Ravine, attack with Ravine, cast Brutality, cast Push. We do not need the forest, so I'm going to escalate with it. Steam Vents in hand. GG. Opponent says GG's. Absolutely. Ike Spike. GG's well played. Those were super intense. Waiting for the lag to catch up here. Waiting for concession lag. GG, well played. For sure, my friend. Great games. Unusual games against that deck. Holy moly. I'm tired. I'm tired, guys. These have been 3 really intense leagues. And I'm sure matches. And I'm sure they seem more intense than they are, because, again, I played almost 2 hours of really high-intensity games against Bant and Big Mana that just got thrown out the window by MTGO immediately before this. And in turn, I did that immediately after coming home from work, so I'm pretty wiped out. I would love to put in a request for a couple free wins to end the league. That would be really nice. That would be really exciting. And that'd be really nice at this stage, but we are doing very, very well in the league. We're scraping by in every match, but we are racking up the W's. Noah, my friend, this one is for you. I do hope you're enjoying it. And we have already cashed it, but let's try to do a little bit more than cash it. Let's try to finish with on a really strong note. Yeah, I think Jund is awesome right now. I think Jund's really good. I think BGX in general is really good. Lots of incentives to play the various different flavors, as I touched on in my recent video about, the post-ban stuff. And here we are. Round 4. I feel like I've been playing for 10 rounds already, but I'll try to keep it cool, try to keep my play to a high level here, and try to keep my focus. My die rolling skills have failed us. We have lost the die roll. This is a hand that would be way better on the play, but I think we still keep it in a blind. Keep. Guys, how good was Croxa that game? Bloodbraid into Croxa? Oh, man. That's just kind of still sinking in for me how much of a turnaround Croxa was there. Unbelievable, but that is why we love the card, right? Uh-oh. Turn 1, Wooded Foothills Fetch, looking like Burn. Or in Mono Red Prowess, okay. A little bit better for us. And Fatal Push was pretty much the perfect draw, so thanks for that. I'm going to give the Prowess player credit here and assume that they're not playing any bad cards main deck, like bad reactive cards that blow out our Fatal Push. So, ooh, and maybe this is just Burn that started. No, it's Soulscar Mage. What is this going to be? A Swifty? Sure. And a good old-fashioned Lightning Bolt, to which we say, bye-bye, SSM. We take 5, rather. And then we get to slam a Goyf, which is really good. We even draw the basic land, so we don't have to fetch. Yeah, I'm gonna, despite the presence of Croxa, I am still gonna play the Forest. We are concealing that we're Jund this way. We could be on BG the Rock. If they just say go to attacks, it'll be really interesting. I might not block if they do. They're main phase bolting, which means they've got a light up the stage following it up. Either that or they're just skewer the critics. Wow. Oof. Having just taken 6 to the face, I think we do have to block if they attack, and thankfully they don't. Alright, I think we are just main phasing this Kolaghan's command. I do not read them for another 1 mana spell at all. I do read them for Bedlam Reveler, though. Kind of priced into Basic Mountain here, which does suck. But let's go for it. Let's go for K command. Please have a Reveler just stuck in hand. Okay, another land. Not as exciting, but we'll take it. We're leaving them Hellbent. They do have a Sunbait Canyon for the redraw. This is really just like Burn. So I'm just like so used to seeing Prowess, this might just be Burn. Kind of embarrassing if I've just been misspeaking the whole time, but whatever. You get the point. Alright, Croxa time, I guess. Would love to be casting a Bloodbraid Elf right now, but Raging Ravine is not interested in that. You know, the thing is, though, that, like, this looks like kind of a mashup between Burn and Prowess. Like, Prowess doesn't usually play fetch lands and Skewer the Critics, and Burn doesn't usually play Soulscar Mage, unless I'm just, like, so tired I'm making an obvious mistake. But no, it's like Swifty, Goblin Guide, and Eidolon, right? So this looks like a mashup. I don't know what to expect beyond the obvious, so we'll just sideboard normally against a normal red deck wins archetype, but oh boy, it's pretty good to take game one, you gotta say. That's a tough matchup, no matter how you slice it, especially, like, tougher game one than it will be post-side. Engineer is a maybe, Fulminator is a maybe, but probably weaker than Engineer, because we only have 2 of them. If we were, like, on 4 Fulminators, that'd be fine, but we're certainly not going to play Pillage. But these 4 cards are the ones we need to play. I'm going to cut Thoughtseize until further notice, and we don't have that many cards that are actively bad, like Wrenn and 6. I guess we'll cut all of them. Otherwise, I'm not seeing a terribly significant amount of cuts that I need to make. So why don't we play 1 Plague Engineer? And then, is there anything else that we want to put the second Plague Man in for? They do get better in multiples, but the notion of finding both and them both living to hose the 1/2s is pretty unlikely. So I think I'm more comfortable just playing the 4th Bloodbraid Elf over the second Plague Man, but it really is a very, very interesting call here. And then you gotta wonder whether we're better off, like, cutting a Bloodbraid and a Plague Band to play those Fulminators against their hybrid deck, but I think we like it like this. Oh, hi. Hi there.
I was touched.
Yeah.
That's your microphone.
That's my microphone. Good girl. Okay. Daddy's busy, all right, Bubby, but I will be very done soon. This is Daddy's other job. He's working right now. So let's go out here. I'll be right back, guys. Let's go out here.
Daddy, oh.
Yeah, we're in Daddy's room, but we're going to come out here for a minute. Cha-Cha, can you please take off your coat? Show me your big girl. Alright, guys, I am here, kind of on kid duty for a minute, so I'm just waiting to hit submit deck. Hi. Alright, now we're hitting submit. Where's your mama? She just let you in and then she left again? Okay. Yeah, I know. You just let me in. I didn't know if you saw me. Yeah, that's okay. I'll be done soon. Sorry about that, guys. We are back, and we have certainly to mulligan a no-lander. Lots of those going around this league. This one will suffice, for sure. Keep it bottom one of our Bloodbraid Elves. We got Bolt into Scoos, and we'll see how far that gets us. I don't really love our odds in general on the draw anyway, but... So, will the opponent show us a Goblin Guide, or is that just not something they're doing? Okay, another Bloodbraid Elf. Kind of the opposite of what we wanted to see, but maybe we can just, like, march our way on up there and... to 4 mana and get there, right? Field priced into the basic mountain and also field priced into the main phase. For reasons that I'm sure are pretty obvious to everybody watching. Oh boy, the triple creature start on the play is not what we want to see in the least. This certainly does price us into just running out our Scoos, I think, ASAP. We no longer have a realistic way to, like, maneuver into a position where it takes over the game. So... you know, it could be walking into a Searing Blaze or any number of other things, or just, like, having to maybe chump block with it. But if this is, like, a Skewer pointed at the board, it's a Rift Bolt pointed at the board, yeah, that could be worse. If we draw something great now, like a Goyf, then we could have been in a good position. Instead, we just draw our third Bloodbraid Elf of the game. So here's what we're going to do. Opponent's going to break a little bit. We're going to Bloodbraid into Maelstrom Pulse, and we're just going to chain Bloodbraids until we win. Right? Right. What is this? Another Hardcast Rift Bolt. Yeah, this is unfortunate, because this is a pretty beatable progression, but not when they just kill us. Okay, absolutely wrecked. Turn forward. Again, a beatable progression if we had a little bit of disruption besides that bolt. But, you know, 'twas not to be. Just bottomed a Bloodbraid Elf, kept one after mulling to 6, and then drew the other 2. This is why I considered trimming away a Bloodbraid Elf, because they're just a little bit too slow sometimes, especially on the draw. But like nothing we were thinking about subbing in for it would have done anything there anyway. So, not enough to win in any case. I think our sideboarding's totally fine. We're just going to run it on back. And hope for better days on the draw. Well, this is night and day between the struggle sessions that were rounds 1, 2, and 3. And anything can happen here. I don't know how to feel in terms of our favorability here on the play, but I am just very glad we won game 1. All right, come on, deck, come on. Let's see a great opening hand. We haven't had that many today. Let's see a great one. Inquisition into Goyf. The other stuff's a little medium. Croaks is pretty good. I'm definitely keeping. Okay, so how do we fetch? I guess Basic Swamp and Stomping Ground are probably the 2 we can operate off. And maybe won't have to if we draw a different third land. But, like, without Wrenn and 6 in the deck, Basic Swamp is pretty good turn 1. Okay, so we don't have good removal. They have 2 creatures, huh? Guess we're just taking Soulscar Mage. He's very good against Tarmogoyf, like, no matter what else is going on. But they've got a perfect 2-creature, 5-spell, 2-land hand. You hate to see it. We drew our third land. So we could get Basic Forest for the Goyf. But that's pretty bad with Kroxa. Nevertheless, every point of damage does count. And, like, we have different things to do on curve besides that anyway, so they're just double bolting the Goyf. Okay. They're not making us make any decisions here. They're just kind of, like, pointing everything at the board every chance they get, which does make a degree of sense. Okay. We have drawn the 4th land that we need for Bloodbraid Elf on curve, so is it going to be Kroxa or Trophy? I think it's gotta be Trophy, right? Obviously, ramping them sucks, whereas Kroxa is just pure, like, take a resource away, but we can't take free hits from the Swifty. We know they at least have a Skullcrack in hand. And they did have the 3rd land already anyway, so whatever. Okay, we got a Bloodbraid Elf into some life gain here. That's what we need this upcoming turn. Wouldn't you say? Opponent with no second main play, and we're just flooded. Flooded with painful lands, no less. Come on. Something awesome. Oh my god, Assassin's Trophy, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I guess I'm just gonna freaking cast it, but that is, like, gotta be the only dead Cascade I have. And that's not true, Fatal Push is dead too right now. But what a tilt. What a freaking tilt, right? I wanted to cast it anyway, just on the off chance it Stone Rains them, but more importantly to fill up the yard for Kroxa and subsequent Goyfs, right? They rip a Goblin Guide, punishing us for turning the Bloodbraid sideways. They do give us a land off of it, but that's still pretty scary. We don't want to take 2 here, that I can tell you. Skewer. Okay. Goyf. That's a good draw. So we'll begin with the Kroxa. Seems to be getting some kind of action out of their hand. No, they were disciplined with the land drop. Okay. Okay, you know, this Ravine could prove pretty vital. So they Skullcrack us, we go to 5. Nothing can realistically beat Goyf, especially because they don't have white mana. We have another Goyf. Alright, what's the freaking play now? I guess just like unleashing Croaks is the play. They have to have double burn. They have to have burn in hand and then burn again next turn to beat us. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of better than playing Goyf. They have instant creature sorcery land, so we just have to... we don't shrink Goyf kind of no matter what we do. Oh no. Oh no, they did rip burn, so now it's all down to their top deck. Okay. So. If we want to go to 1, we can get a basic swamp, play Goyf. Then we can attack with both, but like they're just so dead if we attack next turn that I don't think we're supposed to. If they play Searing Blaze, that would leave us dead to that. Would also leave us dead to a... It would not leave us dead to any top-decked haste threat, though, because we'd have 2 blockers. So if we attack with Goyf... Yeah. Yeah, it literally is just do they have burn or not, right? Okay. Okay, I don't think it matters whether they do or do not block, but they block, sure. Thrilling game, I guess everything depends on my next draw. I'm going to say, yeah, GG well played either way. I'm going to keep everybody in suspense while I type. Five and 0 here if I get it. 4 and 0 here if I do. Good luck. All right, this is for all the marbles. Did he get it? Did he or she get it? Did they get it? Goblin Guide. Oh, we got him. We denied the 5 and 0. Feels bad. Feels so bad, but It's a pity that you attacked correctly. Exactly. Yup. That's all I have to say is yup. Great games. Wow, guys. Wow. This is a heck of a league, isn't it? I think so. We're 4-0. The success continues and the very narrow margins of victory continue. Great games, well played to Josito Shekel, if I'm pronouncing that anywhere near correctly. That was awesome. Good luck in the future. And we move on, my friends. We move on. Whoa. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. Again, I submit my request for a free win in this fifth and final round. That would be just lovely. Have we not earned it? Have we not earned this? I dare say that we have. Either way, it's been a rip-roaring success of a league, and I hope y'all are having fun. I can't wait to be done, even though I'm having a lot of fun too, because I'm just feeling a great deal of fatigue right now. My voice is tired, my body's tired, my mind is tired, but we persevere. We persevere, and we don't have to wait long for the fifth and final round, because here it is. Oh no, I'm out of coffee. I thought I had another sip. GG. Okay, let's try to do it anyway. We win the die roll. Yeah, we go bolt into Ren and 6. We guaranteed curve into Bloodbraid. We have the Peatland loop. A definite keep, even though certainly a lot of things in Modern this does not line up, like our interaction doesn't line up well against it, but you can't throw a otherwise great hand like this back in the face of that. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Well. This is probably going to require my thinking cap, and I don't know how I feel about that. But at least Ren and 6 should be really good against basically any Hallowed Fountain deck when we're on the play. And we've drawn Barrenmore too, so we've just got all of our card advantage. Okay. Maybe the Bant nemesis that I faced a million times earlier on. I couldn't possibly say, but we'll find out. So I'm going to begin by cycling, then buying this back. And then I am just going to deploy a Scooze. I guess we should probably be fetching and shocking here. But our life total, yeah, it's taken a hit, and we have Peatland as well. We might be operating off of at some point, plus all the repeated fetching of Ren and 6. It could add up, so I thought about getting basic forest there, but against a Hallowed Fountain deck, we probably just shouldn't, right? They flash in Snapcaster for pressure. That's pretty good for us. I think we're just playing the value game. We don't need to alt-Ren to win, so I don't know if we're supposed to trade with Snap or not. Well, they won't give us a choice. Teferi, Time Raveler. It's actually pretty obnoxious. Shuts off Bloodbraid Elf. Kind of forces us to ping it with Ren. Or we could bolt and do other things. Let's see what we draw. Tarmogoyf. Tarmogoyf makes me want to consider going on a different course of action, but Bloodbraid Elf is just so awesome that I think that's what I'm supposed to do. But you could see going a few different ways with this. I'm going to go this way, though. Bloodbraid into Croxa. Yeah, buddy. That was pretty nice. They have Uro. Interesting. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to try to protect the run, but I don't expect it to work. But we're behind on life. We haven't done any damage to them yet. And we have the advantage engines on the field. So if they have to, like, path our Bloodbraid to get our run off the field, exactly what happens, I think that's pretty good for us. And we also have another run where that came from, of course. So the main reason to have sequenced differently than we did last turn is if we really wanted to protect the run at all costs. But like I just explained, this actually works out pretty well for us. Croaks is going to be coming back with a vengeance at some point here. Opponent with the Field of Ruin. I think I'm going to lead on another Wren. Okay. Let's keep the loop going. Liliana's a good one. But do we... I mean, I think she'd resolve if we played her. Because they let Wren resolve pretty quickly. Either way, we want to use all 3 mana, so we're going to run out Peatland this turn. I think I'm going to actually do Bolt the Snapcaster instead, though. I want to do that before they can start looping with Cryptic and all that other silly nonsense, so we'll just have this as our play instead. And any kind of trading they do, including Field of Ruin, is fuel for Kroxa. Ooh, I should have got Swamp so we could cycle Baron more. That was actually a misclick and a mistake. A mistake rather than a misclick, because I thought about it a split second after I actually did it. Okay. Opponent making the land drops. What's it going to be on 5 mana? Another Path. Jeez. I mean, it's not entirely surprising, and it's still okay for us, but... we're out of basics now, and they follow up with... Uro, looks like. Okay, Battle of the Titans. Who would win, Uro or Kroxa? Well, assuming they don't have a Force of Negation, we can Edict Uro, then eat it with Skoos. Think that should probably be our first order of business rather than unleashing our own Kroxa. Alright, let's loop all of our fun stuff. Opponent clearly F6, so I'm just going to eat the Uro now while I can. Don't need a land drop bad enough to play the Baron more while I have an active W6. That's the concession. Alright, guys. Alright. I'm so glad they didn't make us play that one out any further, and to be fair, they were really far behind. But again, I'm at my wit's end, literally. My wits and my energy are flagging. So, the early concession is just fine with me. Alright. So against Bant control with Uro, we could consider our land destruction effects, and we can consider Ashiok as well, you know. Hate in the Grave is fine. Shutting off fetch lands can be fine, but we're not going to have that many slots, and I think I might rate the more directly value-oriented stuff like Nile, Spellbomb, and Vraska a bit higher. Collective Brutality we have to consider, and we also have to consider Plague Engineer, even if just as a one-of, to beat the Quattles, even though we didn't see them that game, I think. Again, I played against Bant 3 times in the league that never was. At the beginning, I mentioned this. So I'm remembering Quattles from there, not from the game we just played, I believe. So to that end, even though Fatal Push can kill Uro, we have other ways to do that. I don't think we're supposed to leave that in. And we'll probably move away from some number of bolts. I think we're supposed to cut a Black Cleave Cliffs against this blue control Path to Exile deck. I think that's pretty free. These cards are the ones I'm the most interested in. I could also actually see cutting a Tarmogoyf against Quattle and Path and Verdict. You know, Goyf has a lot of natural predators. We still need to clock them and all that. It's clunky against Teferi on the draw too, so sure. So, I'm going to play 1 Brutality. I'm also going to play 1 Plague Man as a hedge against the Quattles. Do we want the 2nd Brutality over the 3rd Lightning Bolts? I believe so. I think I'm going to play 2 Bolt, 2 Brutality. Seems good. Alright, come on, come on, come on. What can we put together with this 60 against Bant? It's a pretty reasonable keep. We've got some clunk issues, but it is a solid enough hand that we are not interested in throwing it back by any means. Gotta draw some lands. Ooh. Our clunk issues just got even more stark because now we really just want to jam Wrenn and 6 on turn 2. I think we're supposed to, set that up to the exclusion of this Thoughtseize. We're a bit punished for this if we naturally draw an untapped land next turn, but we might not, right? So, yeah, we draw a Goyf. Time to jam the Wrenn and hope. This will be so good if it resolves. If not, we will be behind the 8-ball. Ha ha! That's the ticket. That is the ticket. Now we've got it all, if we can get there. If we can get it all to line up through whatever they've got going on. This looks like a Quattle here, which we can ping at some point. But, we can... Obviously, we just want to jam a Lily. Lily and Wrenn is the unbeatable value. Ooh, looked for a minute like they were going to miss their land drop. They go Uro, so they're tapped out. Okay. That means it is Liliana time. At the risk of them having Force, it's still pretty good. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Oh, they're not fully tapped out, but they are not representing blue. Okay. Talking is hard right now. My apologies. So... yeah, I think I'm jamming Lily. I think I'm fetching and shocking to do so. Plague Engineer's pretty good too, though. But this is the dream team, my friends. Opponent's got the dream team of double Uro in the graveyard, so plenty of value where that came from, but we have a Nile Spellbomb, so yeah, we've got a lot of great stuff going for us. We just have to hope they don't have anything too nutty right now. That's what we need to fade. They're not showing us Cryptic Command mana quite yet. They can fix that and get that ready for next turn if they don't naturally have it. And they don't. But what do they have? Ooh, big Teferi? Yeah, that's awful. That is freaking awful, man. I hate this card. I do. We cannot pressure him particularly well right now, either until we draw Bloodbraid Elf. Is that the play? It's gotta be. It's just gotta be, right? I think I'm doing it, and I think I'm doing it before... Well, this is actually real tough. Like, we have such good turns with such a good turn without Bloodbraid Elf. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get some guaranteed value before we start making moves with Bloodbraid? We'll ping Quattle. I guess I'm going to tick up with Lily, although I really don't want to. But just in case we cascade and do another one, I guess we probably should. It's between Thoughtseize and Lightning Bolt. I think I'm going to pitch Bolt. Bolt gives us some more reach against Teferi next turn, but Thoughtseize lets us do a lot of really good stuff too. Okay, Bloodbraid, work your magic. Okay, Inquisition, whatever. Could protect us from a path right now. Not probably what I was hoping for, but could play a surprisingly useful role here. Opponent's mana is a little bit of a disaster. Wow, they let Veil of Summer... They let us take Veil of Summer just so they have Snapcaster to protect Teferi. Well, I guess now we're just supposed to take Snap, aren't we? Like, in Cantrip with Veil, but, like, yeah, we gotta keep this Bloodbraid around to pressure those Planeswalkers, and they have a Jace, too. Bit scary. So now they can Veil, looking for a path, I guess. Okay, so trying to win through Teferi and Jace is just completely nuts, but our progression is so good that it just might work. Here comes the aforementioned Jace. Really wish we had our Lightning Bolt still around, but... Okay. They're operational with 4 lands. We draw Kolaghan's Command. That's pretty great. Not gonna lie. But I guess the first thing we do is just attack. Looks like we're gonna draw out a Cryptic this way. Which is just fine with them, honestly. Cryptic's the one card we did not want them to have. Yep. Bouncing Lily, not unexpected. However, we have an alright follow-up. Begin with a Thoughtseize. Okay, jeez, they've drawn Teferi and Snapcaster. Bro. Okay, they cannot snap Cryptic. They can snap Veil, but that's far enough away that I guess we can't worry about it now. Gotta take the other Teferi. So my plan was to call. Oh, well, we can get that out of their hand. Right, okay. So do we want to leave them with Jace or with Tef? I guess with Tef. So discard that Snap, shock that Jace. And then we're going to ping that Jace. And then we're going to hope to, like, spellbomb away their Uros before they can use them. Because right now they can't. Unless they hit a green land. Or maybe they can field into one. And then we still have to beat a Teferi somehow. But we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff. They top deck another Jace. Are you kidding? Ah, what a disaster. What a disaster. Okay, so we'll have to give some real consideration to what we're going to do next turn. It's going to depend, obviously, on what we draw. But, like... Okay, opponent's going to have 3 mana up. Okay, we've drawn on land naturally. I'm going to lead off on Nile Spellbomb, see what happens. And we'll attack this Jace. We'll get pathed. Yep, that's pretty bad. Okay, let's pick up a land with Ren. I'm actually just going to main phase this Spellbomb. It's a great time for looking for more action. Instead, we find another land. So how can we beat them? Liliana getting the last card out of their hand is kind of cool, but they're just drawing so much with these cards. I really wanted to find like an answer right now to one of them. Could play Tarmogoyf and hope they just brick with seeing like 5 new cards. Seems really unlikely that they will, but like playing Liliana is kind of a losing line. Potentially. They've already seen only one path, feels like more. What a tough call. I'm gonna play the creature, but Liliana's better under most circumstances. In that window, right? But, like, I think we just have to throw value and caution both to the wind in an attempt to remove their planeswalkers in any way we have available to us, which right now is simply by attacking them. Maybe with an assist ping from Ren at some point. That's about all we can muster. Jace can unsummon Tarmogoyf, obviously, but that's them not drawing cards, so I think that would be fine if they were priced into that. But we have no... Nah, they're not. Yeah. We have no other way to do it. They have fields for our Raging Ravine. We just have no other way to do it. We gotta draw Bloodbraid Elves, basically. I wanted an easy one at this last, in this round 5. Didn't you hear me? Don't you remember? Okay, they're main phasing this. We'll get a second red. And we can, keep buying that back with Ren. That's not nothing. But I also doubt it's going to be enough to matter. Once again, we should just begin by attacking, I suppose. Gonna just keep attacking Jace. He's the one with the better draw engine and the lower loyalty. Yeah, they just keep finding paths at this stage of the game. That's pretty much the worst thing that could happen. Alright. We have a Blood Crypt still in the deck. And that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just going to buy back and then deploy the Ravine most likely. But I am going to lead off with Lily. Follow up with Skoos. Okay, Lily trades off with the Charm. I am not worrying that much about the clock. Maybe I should, but I just don't have the ability right now mentally to win a clock race, I don't think. So I'm just going to try to win the actual game. And if it comes down to the clock in round 3, so be it. It's what I get for not being fully fresh when I start my league. I do wonder if at some point we're going to be able to pressure them enough to not really have a win con. I mean, obviously the Planeswalkers are win cons, but hopefully we can at least stop them from ulting us. We have already exiled 2 Uros. Our life total is pretty low, so they could get there with weenie beats like Snaps and Quattles, but we've already exiled a few of those too. Another Teferi Time Raveler. Pretty rough, pretty rough. Maybe should have eaten Path over Charm. They're both pretty bad for us. I don't think it matters all that much. Alright, Bloodbraid off the top. Croxa off the top. Brutality off the top. That's not terrible. What is this, a Ether Gust on the draw step? Sure. I think we have to bottom the run at this stage of the game. We just need something that swings the game more heavily. Brutality escalated. What do you have? A Veil of Summer is going to make me tilt off the absolute face of the earth. How is this card allowed to exist? Going to do my fetching now. Just going to use our life total as a resource. Let's make sure we've got the right name for Quattle. I guess it's just Snake. Yes, it sure is. So, boom, boom, boom. Naming Snake. Alright, it's possible I should just be scooping and going to game 2, or game 3 rather, to ensure that I don't lose to the clock, but the opponent is kind of the one that needs to use clock time right now, more than us. My client's lagging up pretty badly now with all this stuff going on. I guess we're going to at least try to go to attacks and see if we can get an attack through and then maybe, just maybe try to win from there, but seems really unlikely. This is a freaking verdict. Okay, see you later. Well, I'll try to draw Bloodbraid Elf. So let's eat the Veil of Summer because I hate it the most. Obviously, they find verdict after all that when we just have no choice but to play our Grey Ogres to the board. Okay, Bloodbraid or die. Bloodbraid's not even good against Teferi. Okay, I guess it's just die, right? Maybe Kroxa or die? I mean, we're still just done. But let's make the opponent do their thing. Hey, Kroxa. Okay, I'm going to play on with Kroxa. It's the only thing that could have made me play on here. They can alt-Tef, but... oh, come on, triggers. Come on, you know what to do. Always yield. Okay, Teferi's emblem lets them exile. There's one turn away from that. I'm not going to care almost at all about what I exile here. I'm just going to do things quickly. You know, at this point, I think if they counter this, I'm just going to stay in the game and make them kill me and keep sixing through every turn. Another Veil of Summer. Great. Now I'm definitely just sixing through my turn. The more Veils I see, the more tilted I get. What can I say? I mean, if they let me keep Kroxa around, I obviously won't six through my turn, but failing that, I think I'm supposed to make them actually kill me at this point. We've closed the gap on the clock a tad. And they have a path. Yep. So my apologies for the what's about to be a boring section of the video, but I am just going to keep hitting 6 until I'm dead. And they do have us on a 6-turn clock with Quattle, so it's not like they need to fully execute like a J-Salt or something. But I think that's worth doing at this stage. You know, no offense to the opponent. They didn't even attack us? Okay, well... I guess we can use up even more of their clock this way. Okay, Tef Emblem online. It's going to use up more clock. Fate Seal. Sure, using more clock. But my client needs to stop lagging if we're actually going to win on the clock here. Oh, I'm dumb. I forgot about this. Okay. Yep, we're 6th. Forgot about Teferi stopping instant speed plays. So we're going to untap, we're going to bolt the Quattle, and then we're going to 6 through the game. Most likely. Okay, we drew Lily. I'm going to play her just to give the opponent something to think about. Cryptic Command, Bouncing Lily, drawing a card, sure. Oh no, drawing 2 in response. Okay, that's more actions you gotta take. Oh, man. Okay, we have to be really disciplined and just automatically 6 no matter what else we draw. There's just no way we should be taking any more actions from here on out. I always say when I'm not live commentating, I'm really good about just like pulling ahead on the clock. But when I'm live commentating, I always say, okay, now we're going to 6. Now we're going to not talk and we're going to play faster. And I tend to not take my own advice as much as I should. But look at the opponent taking a long turn here. Admittedly, Snapcaster is pretty good, though, just allowing them to clock much faster and kill us much faster than Jace would, but hey. Still a whole lot of time we're eating through. Again, if my client wasn't lagging, if I wasn't so tired, I would at least say we've got the clock advantage, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? They didn't exile our Liliana yet. I'm sure they will on their turn. But if we get to... Oh, there's a Celestial Purge or something? Yep. Okay. Our best draw is probably Lightning Bolt, just to bolt the Snapcaster. Nah, never mind, we got all 3 lands dead. So it's time to just 6 and lose over the course of a few slowish turns from OP. Well, at least the opponent can say they won against Jund on turn 12 with this as the ending board state. Pretty epic stuff. Feels good, I'm certain. Okay. Opponent, yeah, taking no actions here, just attacking as they should. I almost played Pete Land and Inquisition there to get a little more info and to make the opponent respond to something, but that would have shortened up the clock and killed us. Alright guys, I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick before the final decisive game. Can we get the 5-0? We're about to find out. I have returned. Wow, guys, could it get any more tense than this? I have this weird combination right now of, like, extreme fatigue and high tension. Let's figure out our sideboarding. I still like, based on what we saw, like, the Planeswalkers and the Uro are the things that are just going to beat us. So I kind of like exactly how we sided. Like, the Goyf gets a little better on the play, and Ashiok could be interesting on the play, too. But the only thing we could really cut is more bolts. And the bolts are pretty good, too, honestly, for racing, for taking care of Jace, for taking care of Quattle. So I think I'm just submitting deck. Come on, we can do it, we can get there. I gotta play fast, but I gotta play well. We could win or lose, either to the clock or to the game. So let's see what we got. Give us a fantastic 7 deck, if you would, please. Yep, here's my client lag already eating into our clock. I'm sure I'm already in game. Yep. Yeah, we just lost like 20 seconds. Completely ridiculous. Got a mulligan and no-lander. Completely ridiculous. But we've got a good keep here. Put our basic back. Obviously, like, a 4-lander that we just saw with no fetch land is ridiculous, kind of, with the Ren and 6 Liliana plan otherwise lined up. So if we draw a fetch land, I'm going to jam Ren. If we don't, I might jam Kroxa. I don't know. Might still be correct to resolve Ren. We'll see what we draw. Opponent went Astrolabe off island. Fetch land. Another Lily. I think we're supposed to still jam Ren here. Feels bad. But with no fetch land, it feels bad, but I still think it's correct. They're still considering a Force of Negation, it seemed. But, like, any land is now awesome. Any land is now awesome. Assuming we resolve our Lily. If we don't resolve our Lily, then lands are not as awesome. But hey. Oof. Okay, nothing to it but to do it. We're just jamming Lily, making them have something. At least we have a backup. Okay, we're going to pitch our extra Wren. Obviously, I wish we had a land to pitch now. That's kind of what I was thinking of, but... Okay, opponent fetching in response to this Wren activation. This is probably a Quattle being flashed in. Again, if only we had a fetch land, we'd be living the absolute dream right now. Sadly, we aren't, but the Wren ping is a pretty free source of value that we're otherwise not really getting off of it. Okay, passing. Bloodbraid Elf. Alright. Let's ping your Quattle. Let's pitch an excess Liliana. And then we're going to play Kroxa and hope that we draw a fetch land finally next turn. Because we've got all of our awesome value engines, just the fetch land is the missing piece to tie it all together. Veil of Summer got out of their hand on our terms with no value, and a Cryptic Command got out of their hands? Yeah, that's why Layered Discard is OP. Overloading discard effects. Really, really good. So glad we didn't get blown out by Veil. Alright, does opponent have another Quattle to flash in? That would be one of the things that makes sense here. Perhaps a Snapcaster Mage? Yep. Okay, it is the latter. That is pretty annoying. Again, we just hit a fetch land and we're all good. So Snap is basically cantripping here. Might have been better to leave up Blood Crypt to bluff both push and bolt. I can't think about things like that at the moment. Wren and 6 coming at being attacked, rather, by Snapcaster Mage. Okay, there's the Field of Ruin. You want to field us and give us a Wren target? That'd be pretty nifty. Oh my god, it's Jace. Please, one-time deck, please! Fetch land off the top, they Fate Seal. Okay. They top whatever's there. No! Okay, it's a Scooz, huh? Well, this is a tough call, but I think we're going to Edict the Snap while the coast is clear. Try to keep both of our Planeswalkers around. I literally just can't believe we haven't found a freaking fourth land, though. Unbelievable, right? Just unbelievable. But hey, they gave us the Scooz. I'm sure they can answer it, but maybe it has to be like a Verdict or a Path or something that gives us another window to do something great next turn. Like, that's our big hope. We're also still winning handily on the clock. Gotta remember that. Like, oh my god. Did they ever not have Jason Teferi on curve? Please. Please. Away with you, Planeswalkers. Now they're gonna brainstorm, which I guess is probably a good sign for us, that they didn't feel confident enough in what's already in their hand to Fate Seal. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and eat your Quattle, if my client will allow it. We could eat our own Croxa to grow to a 4. That's not going to be worth it. Almost certainly. But we could grow and then ping to kill a Planeswalker if we connect. Another uncastable 4-drop. What on earth? Just what on earth? How unlucky can we get? Alright, now I gotta tick up now. Just gotta tick up. Vraska's gonna go. Uh-huh. I should have eaten some stuff before this resolved. I just got so tilted about all this. Oh my goodness, guys. How is this even possible? I think we're supposed to ping one of these. I'm going to ping the Jace. I don't freaking know. Whatever. I can't believe it. I can't believe we drew Vraska there of all things. But we now have Croxa lined up to escape. So if the opponent's breaking off a little bit, we still have a shot. But we needed the 4th. We needed like a fetch land anywhere in the first 4 turns, and I think we'd be even beating the Jason the Teferi combo. Here's the Euro. Just what we needed to see, right? But, you know, them at least... Never mind, I was going to say them at least somewhat tapping out as something, but it's really not with Teferi around. And with the double land drop, like... Busted card check. Now what? You just main phase on escaping the Uro? Maybe. Okay, they are. This is eating up the clock, so let's get a big turnaround with Bloodbraid Elf. Something epic with Bloodbraid. Black Cleave Cliffs off the top? Really? Okay. We gotta edict this Uro. Don't veil me. Don't veil me. Don't you dare veil me. Oh my God. There is nothing, and I do mean nothing, that they don't have. Unreal, guys. Unreal. Well, you know, this has still been an awesome league, but we are getting absolutely screwed. And Veil of Summer just loses us this game because everything's hexproof from Maelstrom Pulse. So no, we're not going to cast it, but that sucks too because nothing goes for Croxa. Please, for the love of God, can we one day have a Modern without Veil of Summer? Is that really like a bad thing? Is that an egregious thing to ask? Oh no. I can't believe their draw here at the end of this game. I can't believe it. We're just gotta try to win on the clock, because we sure as hell aren't winning any other way, right? We're just chumping with Bloodbraid, chumping with Raging Ravine, trying to Edict with Liliana. I guess we take every opportunity possible to chump. Okay, let's hope the opponent can't hack the clock. Another Uro? Honestly, I don't know how good this is. It's just using up more clock. Like, obviously, it's a great card against us. But... and we only draw lands. Hey, that's our fetch land, though. Finally got our fetch land. That's something, right? See if the Uro dies, or if they have something to flash in. Yep, obviously they have a Quattle. Sure. Okay, so we've got another potential chump blocker here. Or a trade, even. Okay, Ether Gust. We put it back on top. I guess. Maybe that was bad? No, I think it's fine. We're just using up so much of their clock. I think we might win. Okay, that one we bottom. Another Ether Gust. Sure. We just got to make chump blockers, like, so we can Croxa them. Oh, geez, they have Field for our Ravine, too. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. Well, I mean, if they just have removal for everything that moves, then maybe we won't win. Maybe they can hit us for 3 hits with Croxa before the time runs out. Or with Uro, rather. Okay, they shuffled away our Croxa, so we got nothing. I'll cast an Inquisition. They'll have Veil of Freaking Summer, number 1,000,000. But a few more precious seconds go down. Why can't we have some way to do anything here? We're gonna lose now. Oh my god, we're just gonna lose. This is so close, yet so far. You couldn't make it up, guys. Our draws could not really be any worse. Theirs could not really be any better. We're going to lose with less than 20 seconds on the clock. You know what? If I didn't scoop game 1 earlier, we would be winning right now. I can't bring myself to say good games well played in the chat, although they kind of were, but, like, literally Veil of Summer and all the stupid Planeswalkers in just the perfect order. You gotta say that was a really harsh way to lose the league, especially because we were so close to winning on the clock. But, guys, we went 4-1. If their draw is even a little less nutty, they just don't kill us quickly enough. Like, yeah, you saw it. You saw it. I don't know how to feel about that. I am pretty tired. I bet if I had just slow played a little bit more and made them slow play a little bit more, we could have got there. But is that really the way we want to win? Well, at this stage, I'd say, having just lost to like some really BS cards, I would say, yeah, that is a fine way to win if we're against a deck like that. But, hindsight's 20/20. There's no way to have known that. Remember that it did look like we were the ones who were going to lose on the clock, potentially, in Game 1. And I think we have a reasonable chance of, actually winning the game in Game 3, but obviously things just went disastrously wrong here. As always, my friends, I am not omniscient. I'm far from flawless. I do make errors, and it is possible for me to just have a total lack of knowledge. I could just be totally overlooking something. But with that caveat laid out, I do believe that we were seriously, severely, and undeniably unlucky to lose that last game. But we did take him right down to the wire. We got as close as humanly possible to a 5-0 without actually achieving it, and we did have pretty fine variance throughout much of the league. But again, the theme of this league was they're going to make it hard on us, and they did. And they made it so hard on us that they took us all the way, teased us all the way right up to the finish line, and they just said, nah, you're going to draw 15 bricks while we Veil and Uro and Jason to ferry you out of the game. So that was our league. I do hope you enjoyed it. This was a lot of gameplay for you. It was super intense. I need to go eat something. I need to go do something else. I am beat, but this was a lot of fun. And Noah, my friend, your list is looking great, just like I thought it would. So there we go, guys. We have Noah, tireless tier supporter, Patreon donor. This league was for you if you're interested in his Magic Club at Texas A&M, currently in the process of being made official on campus, you can check out the email in the description below and you can hit them up. And we also have to thank our other new Patreon supporters, the trio of Inquisitors. We got Fan Yu, Teddy Ranby, Tom Slipknot. We got Jacob Bouchard, who's gone from Inquisitor to Unearthed. And we have James Zawislak, who is a brand new Tireless Tier supporter and the CEO, if you will, of thedarkconfidant.com, where many an article about BGX decks will be written in the future. So bookmark that. Thank you to all Patreon supporters. I'm a little bit tilted right now, but I'm also very, very happy with the league as a whole. I'm going to have to look back and see what I could have done different besides extend Game 1 a little bit more. I don't know if there's anything, but there might well be something. As always, my friends, you can let me know. If you are enjoying this content, I wish I could explain to you what my days look like in order to fit these leagues in. A lot of the time, I am literally just min-maxing every second of what would otherwise be my free time. And don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do so. I would not have it any other way. This has become a second job for me, and it's by far the best second job I've ever had. But it is a lot of work. It is a lot of stress sometimes just to schedule everything, if nothing else. So if you are enjoying this content, I would encourage you to visit patreon.com. You get a lot of rewards for doing so, for giving me direct financial support, including working your way up to donation leagues just like this one, and access to my upcoming Patreon-only Discord, where we're going to have a lot of fun hanging out. The other thing you can do is visit my sponsor, who does great work at brianpalmerart.com. Tokens, playmats, and commissions are yours for the taking with a 10% off discount code. Info in the description if you're a viewer of this channel. So, Noah, I hope you like this one, my guy, and that's about all I've got. I don't have it in me to do a more coherent wrap-up on the deck. The only thing I'll say is that, Choke is looking pretty sweet right now, because there's a lot of blue going around, and we want to really beat those decks. Choke also has utility against Dryad of the Elysian Grove. I haven't tested that myself personally, but Choke might be something to explore. Maybe instead of Vraska, who was admittedly pretty clunky here, but that's a small sample size. We don't want to write Vraska off either. I think she's always viable, at least. But I could see Choke coming in for Vraska. And otherwise, I think something like this is just where you want to be. So there we go. Let me know what you think about the list, the sideboarding, the lines, on and on. And I thank you so much for watching. I will talk to you soon, my friends, and I hope everybody out there has a wonderful day. Next up, I guess we are probably playing Mono Black Aggro and Pioneer, and Mono Red Prowess and Modern. I've had a lot of people clamoring for that. And after this, I could use something a little bit more straightforward, take a little bit of a reprieve from the BGX stuff, but this was awesome. Thanks again, and I will see you around.